Have you ever wanted to have your own personal guru, someone that you can just type in a little sentence on your phone and get an answer, and not just any answer, but a psychic answer? Wouldn't you love to be able to just say, "Hey Siri, can you tell me if my spirit guides think I should do this or that?" I can just hear her saying, "Sure, Susan, hold on a moment while I contact your spirit guides." This is where we are. Really and truly, this is where we are. People are using AI to formulate spells, uh, witchcraft spells. Now, I wouldn't suggest that, and I am not a witch. And once again, I do not wish to have the witch kingdom up in my business. I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure they agree with me when they say asking AI to come up with a spell to keep your spouse interested or maybe make your boss fire that irritating coworker. This is not the way to use AI, folks. But I want to talk to you today about, can we use it to connect with the other side? I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic medium, spirit navigator, and I channel these messages. These are videos that I've been doing for a long time. I have over 100 of them on my other channel, which I will link down below. This channel is Susan Lynn Spirit Way Shower, and my other channel is Susan Lynn Spiritual Navigator. I have been talking to my spirit guides for a long time, and I'm going to talk to them right now, real time, to tell you what they think about using AI to connect with them or with a higher power. Okay, so I know some of you guys already are upset about the whole idea of AI or artificial intelligence. This is not going to be about, is it good or bad? It is, the guides are saying right now the genie is out of the bottle. We can no longer talk about whether it's good or bad. What we can talk about is, how do we use it? How do we put guardrails around it? How do we help the environment, succeed despite the excessive use of electricity and water? There's lots of things that we can work with AI about making it not as bad, but it's already here. So let's talk about this, right? So right now, you can go online and you can have an AI reading, really and truly a psychic AI reading through one of these online psychic companies. You can pay less money and just have AI give you your answer. Now, if you're not familiar with using AI or artificial intelligence, like a chat bot, chat GPT, or whatever you want to call them, Claude, whoever it is you want to use, it is pretty amazing. I will say this, right? Like, in an instant, it can comb through all of these resources and sources and give you a pretty good answer. Is it always correct? No. But it is pretty astounding how fast it can get you in the ballpark. Okay. Now, can it talk to non-physical? Can your computer, if you direct it to talk to the non-physical realm through the interface of artificial intelligence, does it work? Well, yes and no. The spirit guides would say it's a lot like a Ouija board. Now, if you've not watched my video about Ouija boards, you might want to, but I will just tell you that when you are using a Ouija board, you are definitely connecting to non-physical, but you're also connecting to whatever Tom, Dick, or Harry, or Amber, or Brad, or whoever happens to be hanging around, or happens to be just walking past and like, oh, there's a human trying to talk to us. Let's have some fun. Okay. So it's all about intention. However, the Ouija board was created with a certain goal in mind. So the intention of the Ouija board was created to be a portal to the other side. And it lends itself, because it was created in that energy. It really, it is a tool, is a device, the guides are saying, and it works. But you need to be careful who you're talking to. You wouldn't ask, your neighbor how to build an airplane if, they didn't do that kind of work, right? You wouldn't ask your neighbor to come over and do heart surgery on you. I mean, there really are reasons why you want to dial up your spirit guides or your ancestors Or even if you're practicing and you want to call up a god of some kind, for sure. You want to talk to Mother Earth, rock on, do that. Now, if that's being said, then can you use AI if I say, I want to talk to my spirit guides? Well, you can, but here's the thing. There's big caveats here because humans think they have intention. Like, I intended not to eat chocolate today. I just ate chocolate. Okay, but my intention was I'm not going to eat chocolate. Okay, so you can think your intention is I want to talk to my spirit guides, but there could be doubt about whether you're really going to talk to your spirit guides. You could be doubt about, is this really working? And that doubt is just enough to knock the trajectory of your energy off point. If you don't believe with all your heart and soul that you're talking to your spirit guides, then guess what? Yeah, any spirit can jump on that call and start messing with you. Now, a lot of them are not evil, but they do find messing with humans fun. Believe me, I've been through it. I've dealt with these jokesters and tricksters. They just think it's fun to mess with us. We're sort of like the guides are showing me their cats and we're a ball of string or a mouse. They bat us around and play with us. You don't really want that. You don't want to give away your power. And this is probably the most important part of this whole video, is it's okay to ask for advice, obviously, but you want to take that advice and you want to sit with it. You really want to sit with it before you just wholesale decide that 1-800 chatbot psychic said, yeah, you should quit this job and your boss is a jerk. And you're like, hey, they know me, my boss is a jerk. That could be true. That could be actually non-physical information that was given to you, meaning this chat bot psychic read the energy and said, yeah, your boss is a jerk and you should quit. But your spirit guides, your ancestors, people that care about you, there's a personal connection. That's a very different thing. A personal connection. Your spirit guides and your ancestors know your soul path. They know that you're supposed to stay at that job for another year because in 8 months, your boss is going to get fired and then a new boss is going to come in and that new boss is going to be like looking at you like, what are you doing here? You need a raise, you need a promotion. But if you just quit today, all their hard work, because they're working behind the scenes, all their hard work to get this guy to move out and to get this new person to come in and get you to move up is all for naught. Now, I have to tell you that because humans have free will, this happens more often than you think. I've seen it in my own life many times when I made my human decision, I'm not going to do this or I am going to do that. And then it threw off a chain of events that actually affected other people. And, did I know that? No, right? I just said, I'm not going to do this. I don't feel like it because I wasn't tuned into my own energy, to my own power center. So the first thing I want you to do is tune into your own power center, because regardless of whether or not the chatbot psychic is giving you advice, you're still the last person to make the decision about whether you're going to take it or not. And sometimes we don't take the good advice and sometimes we do take the bad advice, right? So if you spend some time really building up your discernment, building up your power, this is going to pay off. And you're going to be able to use all kinds of different psychic or different types of, what is that word when you have divinations, different kinds of divinations. You're going to be able to walk through life like a boss, because when that animal sign comes through, you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to think about that. When that dream happens, okay, that matches that animal sign. Oh, wait, when I went and did those cards and I pulled those cards for myself, now I think I'm starting to figure it out. That's a whole different thing than I pulled this card and now I'm going to change my whole life. So, yes, believe it or not, you can interface, the guides are using the word interface, with non-physical through AI. But it's the energy is not stable. I don't know how else to describe it other than it's squirrely. It's like, think about if you decided to drive your car and the steering went out, and when you turned right, instead it went left, and you were like, okay, I have to turn left to go right. You're going to be driving, squirrely. And that's what this energy is. It's not stable, it's not steady, and it's not grounded. So it's actually going to probably mess some people up, and give people some bad advice. And unfortunately, that makes you start to doubt. It makes you start to doubt your own self. It makes you start to doubt whether or not you have spirit guides. Makes you start to doubt whether or not you should even be looking for any guidance anywhere. And that's unfortunate because, I'm talking to my spirit guides right now in this video, and it can change your life. You can find your soul path. You can navigate lessons better. You can navigate your life better if you make some sort of connection to your personal spirit guides, your personal ancestors. So there are times when I go around them. I mean, if you watch me, I'm kind of known for arguing with my spirit guides, but that's because if you had somebody in your head telling you not to eat chocolate, you probably would argue with them too, because I mean, come on, you don't understand. This life is pretty tough. And if a human has to eat chocolate to get through it, I think that's not that bad. Okay. But I will tell you that I'm also known for going around the velvet rope, as I call it. A lot of times you're not supposed to know things because you're supposed to figure it out on yourself, on your own. I talked about this, I think, in my last video, that sometimes spirit is like, look, we gave you all this help. We helped you as much as you can. Now you have to go out and make these decisions. You have to trust yourself. It's like they talked about it in my last video. They talked about how we all showed up for school at some point by ourselves, right? That first day of school, no mom, no dad, no brothers, no nothing. And we had to do it. And we had to just trust that we could do this, that we could make decisions, that we could learn, that we could be wrong, but still be okay. It's just that you get to a certain part of your life and it's like wrong costs money. When you're wrong, it costs you time, money, or, the stakes are higher, I might say. Therefore, we stop trying to be adventurous. We stop trying to trust. We stop trying to experience new things. And that's really a problem because that's growth. And our soul came here to grow. So if you can get to this point where you can ground your energy and you can start to feel confident in yourself, in the sense that, hey, I'm going to pull these cards. I'm going to go talk to this psychic chat bot. I'm going to ask it some questions. But you're going to put that information to the side. It's not going to be your whole saving grace because you're giving away your power. And when you give away your power, you're asking for a lesson. You're asking for a lesson you don't want to ask for, because then more things in your life will show up to make you powerless in areas that you don't want to be powerless. And you're going to say, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Well, it's because you've given away your power in a different area. But universe is saying, well, let's give them a lot of this so they can understand how to get better at this lesson. That's something I never understood. Instead of like saying, I mean, in just my opinion, again, I argue with my spirit guides, instead of saying, oh, Susan, great job, great job, great job, great job. They're saying they do that. They're saying they do that. Humans don't pay attention to positive reinforcement. That's what they said. They said humans only pay attention to negative reinforcement because not that long ago we were in a cave with a fire, or in a cave with no fire. It really wasn't that long ago that negative reinforcement was more important than positive reinforcement, right? Like I outran that saber-toothed lion is not the same as that saber-toothed lion ate, my friend. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, can I run faster? I don't know, but I'm going to do whatever I can to not get eaten by that saber-toothed tiger. So, so the point is that when you give away your power, whenever you do something that is counterintuitive or counter to your growth, you're going to get more of that. So if you are growing into standing up for yourself, and you decide it's not worth it, right? Like I'm not judging here because I've done all these things. You decide it's not worth it, and you decide it's really better to just be quiet and hide from the bully that is my boss or whoever that bully is in your life. Well, they don't get better because you get quiet. We all know that. They just find other ways to make your life uncomfortable. But so there the lesson is getting bigger because your lesson was to stand up for yourself. So if you stand up to them, well, maybe it's a big fight, or maybe it's a divorce, or maybe the police are called. I don't know, but you are protecting yourself. You're standing up for yourself, and you're moving yourself out of harm's way. And if you do that, you will notice less and less bullies even show up in your life anymore. They don't show up because you don't match their frequency. They already know energetically you're not going to be a victim. So it's the same thing with the psychic chat bot. If you show up giving away your power, like, please, 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 please tell me I can't afford a reading right now. I just need you to tell me, is my mate cheating on me? You may or may not get a real answer. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. The bottom line is that yes, it can connect to non-physical. The problem is, who is it connecting to? And is it a valid reading for you? If you show up and ask that same chatbot psychic, you say, I would like to know for my highest good if my relationship is monogamous. Or I'd like to know for my highest good if I can trust my mate to be monogamous. I would like a yes or no answer, please. Show it to me as clearly as you can. I am ready for this answer. Well, you've already boxed in the spirits on the other side. You've already told them what for and how to. And you're not saying you won't get a trickster, but I'm saying that you will get less likely get a trickster because you showed up as the boss. I'm telling you what I want. I'm telling you I'm ready to hear it. So just give it to me. Give it to me straight. I can take it. And then you get the bad news or the good news. I want you to sit it to the side. Don't immediately call the person up and accuse them of cheating or immediately decide they're not cheating. Why don't you take a second and say, how do I feel about this? Do I trust this? How does this make me feel? Does it make me feel uncomfortable? Does it make me feel vulnerable? What would I do if it says this person is cheating? Be prepared, because as you work through all of these scenarios, guess what you're doing? You're becoming stronger, more grounded, more centered in your power. You're not giving your power away. You're ready. You might have even taken a minute before you asked the question and said, what would I do if I get this answer and it says you should quit your job? What would I do if I get the answer that says you should keep your job, but I want to quit in 30 minutes? What would I do? You're doing the work on you. You're growing your soul. That is priceless. So in that way, you're working with the energy instead of just allowing the energy to be your boss. You're saying, I'm going to be the boss here, but I'd like some advice. Very different scenario. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. Check out my other videos. You can check them out by clicking logo and go check those out. And they're free, right? Why not? If you're new here, hit subscribe. I have lots and lots of videos for you to look at and to learn from and to grow your soul. Also, I might add, you might want to check out a free online community. This is not a send me your email address and what, I don't know. It's not that. Like I can't do all that, y'all. If you'd like to join a free online community with over 2,000 people that are just like you, a little bit of woo-woo, a little bit of skeptic, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, they're there. They're there for free. You just go to my website, SusanLynnMedium.com, and you can join Lighthouse Keepers Crew. It is not on Facebook. It is not on Meta. It is not on YouTube. It is not on Elonville. It's on Susan. I own it. It's private. Your data is safe there. You are safe there. So if you want a place where you can just hang out and say, wow, I don't know what to think about this dream I had, or I don't know, I used my pendulum and I'm not sure what's going on, or I just had a great day today, or I'm having a challenging day today. It's a community. It's totally a community where you get to connect with other people and make friends and be supported. That's what we really need right now, is to be supported. So I have that free community, Lighthouse Keepers Crew. Also have a paid community. It's through the same company, which is Mighty Networks. And the paid community is all of that. Plus, I'm there. I offer readings on that. As a matter of fact, I have an event coming this week where I'm going to be doing readings for my members. I also have another event that I do once a month called Soul Growth Sunday, which is very popular. And also, I invite outside experts that really know their stuff about numerology, astrology, energy, healing, psychic, mediumship. I invite them in to give you a 1-hour free mini class. So that happens at least once a month. So 3 opportunities a month to have some sort of presentation to you. Also, there's a wealth of videos that are just for the members, that are all the recordings of the things that I've done in the past. And you get the same kind of community. You get to go online and find friends, people just like you, and be supported. Again, both these communities are at SusanLynnMedium.com. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best. Let me know what you think about AI, specifically about AI being your psychic guru. Okay, I know there's a lot of things we can say about AI. I get that part, but it's here to stay. They said the genie is out of the bottle. So at this point, what do you think about it being a guru? What do you think about getting advice from it? What would you do? Take really good care. I'll see you again next Wednesday.